Okay, goodness gracious, that was kind of crazy, guys. It kept saying going live, going live, going live, going live, and it wasn't going live. So, but now it looks like we are live. Hallelujah. Yay. Slowly getting there we go. That's what I wanted to see. Fabulous. Hi, everybody. Thank you for your patience while I figured all of that out. What do we got? Yeah, I sauntered. Yeah. This was technical snafu moment because as we were just about to start, I plugged my phone in just to make sure it was charged, and the entire table that all of this stuff is on fell over. My water spilled, the computer spilled, there were books on there that spilled, and I'm frantically putting it together. Had 1 minute left, thank God, got the microphone replugged in and hit going live, and it wouldn't do it. Not the best way to start. We'll make up for it. It's good. All right, what do we got here? It's not like a Ryan Reynolds movie. And thank you. I am a Ryan Reynolds movie in my heart. I just, I maybe not quite as foul language, but I can make that happen. I feel like yes, Drew has definitely made an impression on the Disney adventures. They make me very happy. I'm very much enjoying that. Hello, welcome everybody. Thank you for joining me for today's Faire Memories live chat. If you enjoy the chat today, please feel free to hit the thumbs up. If you haven't already, subscribe to the channel, share the feed so more people can come and enjoy it. And let's have some fun. Let me see what's going on here. That's not me. That's the cute hip hip huzzah. Okay, I'm getting ready. This was crazy. Hi, Eddie. Love. Oh, thank you. It's a fabulous fun top. I decided I was going to be a little dressy today since I'm not in Columbina. I could just be a little fancier. Looks like the White Heart. Sounds like the White Heart. Oh, with everything falling over in a big mess? Yeah, pretty much. But it's all part of live entertainment. Virtual live entertainment. Yeah. Hi, Terry. Hey, Matt. Good to see everybody. Hope you guys have all had a good week. It's been a crazy one here. The last few minutes have probably been the craziest. But we're going to share stories and tell tales and talk about Ren Fests and Ren Fairs from my years past. I have been performing at Ren Fairs for 25 years and have been attending or participating, well, more actively participating for about 28 years. So I have a few stories. There you go. So we're going to share some stories. Some of them are going to be from Maryland. Most of them are. A couple from a couple other fairs. Sometimes my favorite memories are not necessarily the happiest memories, but they're a darn good story. So we're going to see which ones we come to. I'll give you guys some choices along the way, and we'll tell some tales. So we're going to start in Wisconsin. I know, who'd have thunk. It's the Wisconsin Renaissance Festival, which is not the Bristol Renaissance Festival. This is one on the other side of the country, closer to Minnesota. I believe it is defunct now. It was in Chippewa Falls, Wisconsin, middle of nowhere. It was an upstart, a new fair. It was probably in its second year when we started performing there. And I know I've mentioned it when I talked about the Oh Dear God Hot Day. Well, they were one of the first festivals where I saw fairies kind of walking around. And they had two young women who were playing fairies, but they did the traditional fairy where you couldn't see them. Nobody in the village could see them, and they would wreak a little bit of havoc, but they would mostly kind of be there playing with kids and being in nature. So Stupina can see fairies because she's an innocent type. So there was this one day that one of the fairies and I were sitting, and I had this little ball, and they were like, and I would toss the ball to the fairy, and the fairy would toss it back to me. And people were like, how are you making it float? How are you making it do that? Ooh, ooh, which was amusing. And then the next week, Patrick, who plays Lelio, who you guys may know, Patrick and I started chatting about the fact that, the fairies I could see them, they couldn't. And wouldn't it be cool to catch a fairy? So he built a net. And it was basically like a broom handle length stick with a big round hula hoop attached very strongly with duct tape to the top of it, and then netting that was sewn and big enough for a human person to fit in it. And he came up to Stupina sitting in her little tree. La, 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 la. You're sitting on the ground. Isn't this fun? It's like, oh, so Stupina, have you been playing with the fairies? Oh, yeah, they're wonderful. Really? So are there any fairies here right now? Well, sure. Oh, really? So where are they? Well, there's the one right there. Really? Whomp. Tries to catch it, and the fairy goes running. Didn't get it. Are you sure that's where the fairies? What are you doing? Oh, no. I'm just wondering where the fairies are. There aren't any fairies. But you said there were. There aren't. There definitely aren't any fairies over there. Whoop. At some point, the fairy was running enough that he then took off with the net above his head, 6 feet above his head, and starts chasing the fairy through the village. And it's a wide open place. There weren't a ton of trees at this point, but all I can see from my little vantage point where I was sitting at the front of the festival is this net bobbing up and down in the air, going all the way down by our stage, going and just running through the festival. It was absolutely hysterical. Just watching that, and the two, and luckily both of the fairies were okay with it. They got the joke, and they were totally fine with it. But oh my God, it was funny. Yeah, it was just one of those, like, just the memory for me is watching the net in the distance running through the fair. Just made me laugh a lot. So that was just a cute little fun memory. What else do we have? And what do you got here? Cheese heads. Some of them old Renaissance duct tape. Exactly. The silver Renaissance duct tape. Hello, Patrick. No trees. There really weren't many trees at all. That's why it stood out so much. Is this the Patrick I think it is? Because if it is, then this is about you. It may not be. It may be a different Patrick F, but that would make sense. So that was a hysterically funny moment. Bulldozed them. Yep. Okay. Hi, Patrick. So that's one of my favorite memories, is just watching you chase. Poor little, that wasn't Ariel. It was the other one. Just made me happy. That's hysterical. Hey, hon. So yeah, so just that was one of my favorite visual memories. Bang, 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 bang. So we're going to stick with a couple more Stupina tales because they make me happy. Yeah, it was a poor little Faye, but it was so funny. Oh my God, funny. Just, I couldn't, yeah, just really, and that was all Patrick's brainstorm, and it was hysterical. Just kapow, absolute kapow. So many years ago, when I first started playing Stupina, she would do the front gate at the morning. And there was a guy on cast who now looks a lot like Felonious Fingers from the Hooligans, but was known as Andrew Stewart. And he was in charge of the king's entertainments. He was with the court, pardon me. A little fleck of something in my eyeball. And I know, oh, you already had the net. Oh, okay. I thought you sewed the net. It was beautiful. What year was the Wisconsin Faire net? Oh God. We did Wisconsin at least 10 years ago, wasn't it? I'm thinking it was 10. We only did Wisconsin for like 2 or 3 years. We did like the flying back. I did flying back and forth, and they stayed there during the time of the festival. But oh my God, just Claire, thank you. Yeah, Claire and Ariel. So Claire was the one you chased, and it's just so fun, so much fun. Okay, so Andrew Stewart had a quarterstaff that was his official. This is my quarterstaff, my staff of office. And at some point in one morning, he came up to the front gate area where I was saying goodbye, etc. And he kind of held the stick behind him for a second. And I put my hands on it and took it and just kind of held it. And he might even have asked me, can you hold this for a second? I'm like, okay. And then he did his thing. And then he said, can I have my stick back? My stick. No, Stupina, give me my stick back. My stick. Stupina, give me my stick back. No! And I went running. My stick, no, cannot have my stick. And he's trying to, so at some point he manages to take it from me. Now, what happens to a 2 or 3-year-old when you take that toy they really want? I did not go volume here because I like your ears. And I'm crying, and I'm following him. And it's not making him happy. So I finally end up, Croker was still my Pedrolino at that time. And he goes up to Croker and he says, how do I get her to stop? Oh, you want her to stop crying? Yeah. So you just want her to stop making the noise? Yeah. Okay. And he takes the stick from him and he gives it back to me. And I take it and I start walking off with it. He's like, yeah, but I need my stick. Well, you said you wanted her to stop crying. She stopped crying, but I need the stick. I can make this work. And Croker bends down and he picks up a stick about this big and he goes, oh, wow. Hey, Stupina, did you see this one? What? Oh, okay. Oh, can I have that? No. You can only have one stick. But I like that's, well, you can only have one stick. And wow, this is a real pretty stick. He's like, I'll trade you. Okay. And I traded the stick for the big quarterstaff, and I got my little stick that I happily walked off with, and Andrew Stewart got his quarterstaff back. It was just a fun moment. These street bit moments, they always make me laugh. Yeah, it's just so much fun. 95, okay. 95. Oh, 14 years ago? Was it that? Wow. Time has passed. Goodness gracious. Wow. Yeah, because it would have been pre-interpreters too, actually. So you're right. Crazy. Pre-Bonesaw, pre a lot of stuff. It was so Shriek. Yeah, Screaming Shriek. It was so much fun. Okay, I did not know the history of the Stupina stick moments. Oh, well, they came from a number of different things. But yeah, and basically, if Skivvy used to do this to me all the time, I'd be walking by the pirate encampment. He'd be, Stupina, well, Stupina, come here. Yes, I'll have something for you. You do? Yes, I made it myself. And then he'd bend down to the ground and pick up a leaf or a piece of mulch or something, because there was a lot of mulch back then. He's like, here, I made this for you. And I'd be like, oh, thank you. Do you like it? Oh, I do. I love it. Thank you so much. I will name it. And I would name it. And then I would walk through the village and make people pet my stick. Would you like to pet my stick? Thank you. And people look at you crazy when you say, would you like to pet the stick? Because they're waiting for something to jump out at you or something to go wrong. And I'm very big on the belief that, yes, there are people that are going to screw with you when you interact with them at the festival, but I believe in giving people the joy moment, the more innocent moment. It's not like, it's, oh, here, touch the flower. Oh, no, it sprays water. That's not my shtick. So I just do the completely insane. Would you like to pet it? And they will go, thank you. And then I'll leave. And they're like, what just happened? What just happened? Those are the kind of moments I like. Now, this brings me to another tale, which was not on my list, but I will share this one. So, has anyone ever heard me tell of the Holy Stick of Revel Grove? I will throw that out there. The Holy Stick of Revel Grove was at the end of my Stupina Genius at Work show, way back when Revelers Bower was just the little square in the back. I finished the prior to the story. At the end of the show, I'd had a stick that I'd been walking around with that Skivvy had given me, and someone gave me and I had it, and I keep them. Sometimes I bring them home. Like I still have some of the sticks and things here. I keep them. And I don't know, I anthropomorphize stuff. Ooh, big word for Stupina. And I showed one of my friends. Now, my friend in real life is a Catholic priest. And I showed it to him and he went, oh, I'll bless it for you. And he actually said a prayer over the stick, which meant it was the Holy Stick of Revel Grove at that moment. So I then proceeded to walk around to people saying, here, would you like to touch the Holy Stick of Revel Grove? If you touch it, you will be blessed. And they will touch it. And I would say, you are now blessed. And then I walk away. Same kind of shtick, but now with a legitimately blessed stick. So I did this. And then I wrote, some of you may know, like on Alt Fairs Renaissance years ago, and on occasion on the Teatro page, I've written those recaps where I tell you what happened during that week. That was the next week was the week that I learned that the management actually reads my recaps. Because the next week, I had another stick. someone else had given me a stick for a random reason, and I am now holding said stick and sitting under a tree with my stick before my show. And the entertainment director comes up to me and she goes, "Oh, Stupina, I need to touch your special stick," and pet the stick without me even offering, saying, "It would have been really good if I had touched it earlier. Then maybe the bee wouldn't have flown up my dress and stung me right before my show." And then said goodbye and walked away. I'm like, I am not telling her this is not the holy stick of Rebel Grove. I'm going to let her believe that that is the holy stick right now because I like my job. So I held on to my stick, just hugged my stick and didn't say anything. What do we got going? It's a stick shtick. Yes, exactly, Eddie. It is a stick shtick. 2005. Okay, yeah, okay. So yeah, that's still 14 years ago, Drew. 2005 to 2019. 95, we had not even met. 96 was my first year on cast. Lunch beckons. Okay, ciao, ciao, Mr. Patrick. I hope you had fun. Edward, peace. There we go. Okay, yeah. So, all right. So that was that tale. That's actually very funny that he was here for his story. Okay, we're going to switch stories. We're going to go to Columbina now. And by the way, if there's things you want to hear more about or you have questions about, please throw those in the comments. They show up here. I see them over here, but you need to put them in over here. Or if you're looking at it through one of these devices, you want to look below and type into the little comments things, expand that, and you can add any comments you'd like. What time are we at? All right, we're about a quarter of the way through. So if you're enjoying this, again, please remember to like this, hit the thumbs up. If you're not already subscribed to the channel, it would be lovely if you could subscribe. There are things I still can't do yet until I have 1,000 subscribers, and I'm not there. So thank you for the like, whoever just did that. I very much appreciate it. Also, if you are enjoying this and you would like and have the ability to offer a tip, in the description of the chat, there should be links to the PayPal and Ko-fi pages. Ko-fi, I don't know if it's pronounced Ko-fi or coffee. It's written Ko-fi. But if you can throw me a few dollars, we don't have festival this year, so things are obviously a little tighter, and I have some expenses I'm trying to support. Woohoo, to bring you some more fun and interesting content. Thank you for the other additional like. Hello, Miss Lori. Welcome. So yeah, if you can throw a little my way, that's lovely. And if you can't, that's okay. Stay for the stories because this is the fun. This is the joy. And let's go back to tales. So Columbina. Okay, so Columbina is Italian. And one of the problems is that I'm not Italian, nor do I actually really know a whole lot of Italian. I can tell you that when I went to Italy for my 40th birthday, I was able to get by with enough words and enough language. I could order at all the restaurants. I ended up meeting another couple, and I became sort of the translation person for us. I was also able to go into a store in Venice where they spoke absolutely no English, buy a phone, get the phone number, learn how to change the SIM card, learn how to turn it on and off and all that stuff without any English ever being spoken. I was very proud of myself. But truth be told, no, I do not have a whole lot of Italian knowledge. But when you're playing in Italian, you either have people who are so excited they want to tell you their bit and talk to you in Italian and show what Italian they know, or they want to challenge you to see if you're full of crap and if you really are Italian. Neither of these options are good for me. So normally what I end up doing, Italian techie show off. Yeah, I was very proud of myself, man. It was fabulous. I don't remember what the phone number is. I actually still have the phone. It's a European, really old phone because it was from 10, 13 years ago. So anyway, so this one day, every morning I was playing a character that was in love with the town mayor, Collier Remington, and every day we would have a big fight because he turns me into the king and he's like tries to throw me under the bus, and it's I get upset with him. And so, yeah. So at some point every day, and then at the very end of it, of course, we always make up. So every morning, Denitza, who is, she is Italian, but she played a Scotswoman. I would go to her and say, all right, I need an Italian phrase of love, or I need an Italian phrase of anger. And this one morning, she decided to give me the phrase in Italian for, "You have a nice ass." And I was like, no. If I'm walking in the streets and I yell this out at someone, because I try to use the phrase each time I'd get a new one, I don't want to offend someone. I don't want to, you're walking on that line of inappropriate. So she gave me something else. She gave me a phrase of love. Well, the important part of this is that I then discovered what the word for ass is, which is culo, C-U-L-O. So then I went along my merry way for the rest of the day, and I'm walking about, and I sit down at a table over at O'Shucks, and a group of about 5 people. There was enough for me to sit at the end there, and they were like, we start chatting, and like, oh, you're Italian. See, I'm like, oh crap. You can hear that wind up coming when it's coming as a performer. When you do it enough, you're like, I know this is going to happen. I know it's going to happen. He's like, so you speak Italian, right? See? And then he says something to me. And the 2 words that I pick out of this long phrase, paragraphy thing that he says to me are culo and baci. For those of you who don't know what baci is, if you've ever seen the Perjuina bacis, that's their version of a Hershey's kiss. Culo and baci. And I looked at him. And I get very angry. And he goes, oh, you do speak Italian. And this is how you try to find out. Tu sei pazzo. And I just start yelling at him Italian angry phrases. To this day, I don't know what he said to me. Couldn't tell you if I tried. But I do know he used the words ass and kiss. And that's all I needed to know. And that's how you get by. Now, I will tell you on regular days, if someone wants to talk to me in Italian or they are Italian, I apologize and I say, but I've got to be on stage later, and my brain will start switching syntax, and then I'm going to get up on stage and I'm going to start speaking Italian, and I can't do that while I'm performing, and I'm so sorry, but I got to stay in English brain or I'm going to have a problem. So yeah. It's pretty fun. What is the Columbina cry? That would be kind of funny. All right, so that was a fun one. I like that. So most of these are all little tales and little fun things. So what else do we have here? Oh, okay. So in that same year when Collier and Columbina had the big blowout fight, it was during the show called Court's Court, where the villagers all brought their cases to the king, or village court. Well, it's actually still called Court's Court. And there were a bunch of different storylines in there. And, well, like I said, the Collier gets accused. He blames me. The sheriff comes out as the hero at the end, and we are all, we've been fleecing the town for months. It's, it's pretty funny. But I'm very upset with him now, and heartbroken and angry. And so he decides he's going to do a hand kissing contest with me to prove to me that he loves me or whatever. I'm not even positive how all of that worked. But he decides to do a hand kissing contest with another person the character went by the name of Philip Verbiage. And Philip Verbiage was played by a gentleman named T. And T was actually my boyfriend at the time. So, or was he ex at this point? We're still friends. But someone who had been my boyfriend. So the 2 of them do this big deal with the hand kissing contest. And if you've ever seen the evolution of the hand kissing contest at this festival, I was actually part of one of the first one, which was Scott and Jonathan, who were the Seymour brothers, and they were teaching their young nephew, Prince Edward, how to kiss hands. And I was still in a booth at that point. They ended up pulling 2 patrons and then me as the ringer at the end. And I remember, Scott was doing the riskier things, like he turned my palm over to kiss it, because y'all know you do know the different rules of hand kiss. If you don't know the general rules of hand kissing, put that in below or on the side in the chat, and I'll explain that to you. I was there for Quentin. Oh, QED. That poor man trying to fly on the jousting field. What a crazy thing that was. Scandalous. Yes, it was scandalous. So they're doing this. They basically start doing this hand kissing contest. Now, Philip Verbiage, the character that QED, that T was playing at that point, was part of a 3-actor troupe with Christopher Henslow, played by Russell, Christopher Beeston, not that Christopher Beeston, but the other Christopher Beeston, which was usually what his name ended up being, who was played by a gentleman by the name of Trent, and T, playing Philip. So Philip is the Kenneth Branagh of the troupe, if you get my drift. So, or early Kenneth Branagh of the troupe. And they start the troupe. They start having this competition, and Scott is Collier is trying to make up to me, and Philip is trying to upstart him and show how much better he is because he's the actor. And at some point, one of them either kissed my hand or did something, but I pass out. And I am now laying in the dirt. And they are now in front of me congratulating each other and talking about how great they are and know my things. And they have ignored the fact that I'm laying in the dirt in my brocades and my jewels and things. I'm just laying there. At this moment, Christopher Beeston, not the Christopher Beeston, but the other Christopher Beeston, comes up to me. And he's like, are you okay, Columbine? He's like, trying to sit me up and trying to make sure I'm okay and taking care of me. And I said, wait, just keep holding my hand. He's like, what am I doing? Just keep holding my hand. And then I say, oh, Christopher, oh, you are the most wonderful gentleman. I walked off with him because they were saying, no, I'm going to get her. And yeah. And I was just like, they're going to leave me in the dirt. I'm leaving with the other guy. And I left them and just went off with the other guy. And it was hysterical. It made me very happy. It was very, very funny. Yeah, it was great. It just made me laugh. It's like, Trent, just go with me. And anybody who's performed at a festival, it's one of those, when you're doing street, sometimes you just know and you instinctively just do stuff. And every once in a while you have to go, just go along with me. It's going to work. Come here. Come on. We'll make this happen. So yeah, so that was a really fun one. The Christopher Beeston, not the Christopher Beeston. It made me happy. Bridget, T did video at one point because he was doing all those history videos. And there was one where you were in a blue bodice and a yellow skirt and you were in love with one of the other, and I think you were Yays at that time. What was that character's name? Do you remember? Just curious, because why not? I always wondered. I think it was you. I'm pretty sure it was you. That was something I didn't write down here. The peasant picnic. This is while I was still working as a vendor over at Quai de Pita, before I was officially on cast. They used to have a gathering in the center court area over where Victor's bread booth is, in that open area that became the pumpkin toss area and all the other big weird physical bits. Cheese rolling happened there. They used to have a picnic, and all of the villagers all donated food together, and they put it in this big wood box, and they would carry it out to the field there and lay down blankets, and all the villagers would lay down and they would do games and shtick. And Rowena Grimthorpe. I'm trying to remember if she was. You were secretly in love with this person. You couldn't let people know that you guys were in love, if that will help you figure out which one it was. Might have met Bridget at TRF when the two of us visited. No. This isn't TRF. This is MDRF. Bridget, you've never been to TRF, have you? I don't believe you've met her though. She was in the YAY program, the Young Actors Ensemble, way back when. No. I mean, like before I ever started performing at festival, before you and I met. But oh, you're in Texas now. I didn't realize that. Okay. That's possible. That is possible on one of the brigads. 1995. That's what I thought was the year before I was officially on cast. So were you there? You might have been there for the peasant picnic. So this big peasant picnic, we got everything laid out. And some of the vendors would join in, and they would actually let patrons, some of the costumed patrons, sit and join in because they'd be telling stories and doing games. Tim used to tell his wee Malky story, and they played a game called Smash the Egg, and there was a bunch of fun stuff there. One of the peasant picnics is actually how I met T, but this was a different week when we were there. T and I guess we were just starting to date at this moment when I was at this one. Well, they were playing a game called Smash the Egg, and it's sort of pin and tail on the donkey, but with no walls. So one person gets up and they put an egg on the ground and they blindfold the person and they spin the person till they're a little bit dizzy, and they've got a quarterstaff. And then they slowly will turn right and left and colder, hotter, until they say hotter, and they go right, and the person will throw down the quarterstaff. And when they release and throw down the quarterstaff, their goal is to smash the egg. So you hope that they aim and they get it right. So you're trying, the people in the crowd are cheering them on to get them to the right spot, and then they throw it down and they try to get it. So Tom Plott was playing Sir Thomas Cromwell, a not very nice guy at that point. He played him everyone was terrified when he walked by. And we loved Tom, but we were terrified of Lord Cromwell. And the big bread for the peasant. Oh, cool. I probably had some of your bread then because it was lovely. Must have been Colleen. Okay. Oh, right. Oh, Maudie. I miss Beth. So he had caused problems at other ones. Well, he comes up and they're like, well, would you like to play, my Lord Cromwell? And he's like, certainly, I'll play, and you will be the person standing in for me, to Tim. And he blindfolds Tim, and he says, and if you don't get this right, I have your head cut off. Oh, okay. So we're all trying to help him. Well, as this is starting up and we're getting ready to do this, Bill Huddle, who used to play the king, is walking by at a distance. And he sees the gathering and he sees Tom standing there. He's like, Lord Cromwell, what are you doing with the peasants? Oh, I'm playing a game. Yes, I'm going to smash an egg. And if it doesn't work, he dies. Really? Yes, it's wonderful. Well, Tim, being the quick thinker and trying to save his own ass, Jack Rackham lifts up his blindfold and says, Your Majesty, as he's saying this, he's also scanning the ground to see where the egg is, just in case he can't get out of this. He's like, Your Majesty, if you would like to play, we would love to have you. I mean, I am here as Master Cromwell's stand-in. It's like, really? That's a lovely idea. Cromwell, be my stand-in. So Bill comes over and Tom gets blindfolded. Well, we don't want him to not get it. A, he's technically doing it for the king. And B, if he doesn't get it, we're all in trouble. So they start putting a whole bunch of eggs out on the ground. They're like, he's going to get one of them. He's going to get one. And Ben and Ben is Ernest Fibber. And they were all just like throwing stuff gently. So it wasn't pre-smashed. And he eventually did smash an egg and then they stamped on all the other ones. So all the eggs were smashed and yay, that was great. Woo, you're great. That was wonderful. Oh my God. It was very funny. It was a lovely kind of playful moment. That was Anne of Cleves' year. Oh, right. As he was dragged off. Yeah, I love that you were singing as he was dragged off. Oh my God. That's wild. Ben, you don't know him. He played Ernest T. Fibber, blonde guy. Ben and Megan. I'm semi-leery about putting too many last names on this just because I'm not, I'm giving someone's full name. But I can tell you offline if you want. I don't believe it's someone you ever met. Marta. Oh, wow. Oh, I've seen the video of him getting like his heels getting whipped as they're taking him off. I never heard the music from that because I was always in my booth. That's awesome. Yeah, Paula was so wonderful in that. That would be correct. Bridget said it, so I don't have to. So we're all so that was a hoot, and that's again was just an experience I was part of that was just sticks in your memory. I will say, there are other memories that are not necessarily specific, like sitting at the jousting field when people could still camp on site, sitting at the jousting field at like 11 o'clock at night before I was performing, and just looking up at the stars, because that's one of the spots in Maryland where you're near a lot of kind of city-ish light, but you're in a little darkish area. So you would get beautiful views of Orion's Belt and all that kind of stuff. It was always Orion's Belt meaning the constellation. Let me be clear about that. Oh, how funny. That's very funny, Drew. I did not know you knew Ben. That's hysterical. No, it's not rules. It's just, if they were somebody on here and they had their name showing up, like Drew has his last name showing up on this, I would be fine with it. But again, if they're not in this conversation, I just try to be a little more respectful just in case. Who knows whose stalker is out where. I don't throw my own last name down here. I don't think so. And don't add it. Conscious. Oh, it's not. Oh, Brad. Oh God, that's been a while ago. I haven't seen Brad Howard in forever. I appreciate that, mistress. Oh, please. All right. So what else? What others? Oh, okay. So I'm going to go back to Stupina and her native wildlife. Well, not wildlife. The her attachment to natural things. This may be the first natural thing I was handed, and I still have it. This may have been Stupina's second or third year. I still have the piece that I'm about to tell you about. So Stupina likes to play. And if you've walked around the Maryland village, you've seen like those round wood benches that go around trees. They're like, so and then the trees eventually grow and fill the space. Well, there was this one tree where this little boy had gotten up on the bench. And he was standing up on the bench and he's being great and I'm wonderful and whatever the child was doing, because that's what children do when they're playing. Well, Stupina's a kid in her heart. She's a 3-year-old. She's a 3-year-old mixed with a puppy dog. So she climbs up on the bench too. And she says, "What are we playing? What are we going to do?" And he says, "Nothing." Well, can I? And he gets down off the bench. I'm like, "Can I come down?" "No, you're stuck." And he runs away. I'm stuck. Help. Help. Oh no, I'm stuck. I'm actually, because I kind of live in the reality of that moment, I'm almost on the verge of tears. Like, I'm stuck. How will someone help me down? And people are just walking by and I'm like, I'm stuck. Ah! And this little 8-year-old girl comes up in costume and she's like, "Are you okay?" I'm like, "No, I'm stuck." "What do you mean?" The boy left and he said I was stuck and I can't get down and I'm stuck. Will you help me? And she's like, "I'll get you down." And she offers her hands and she physically helps get me down to the ground. And I'm free and safe and wonderful. And I was like, where is your mommy? I want to thank her. Because it's a child walking around by themselves, and B, I did want to let the mom know how wonderful she was, because she was saving someone in need. And it turns out that her mom worked over at Catskills at the moccasin booth. And I went up and she introduced me and I told her how thankful I was and how she had saved me and how wonderful she was. And I was so proud of her and all the kudos and all the love, etc. So the next weekend I was wandering around in the front and she comes running up to me again. And I was like, "Oh, I'm so good to see you. And thank you again for saving me. And this is one of," she said, "Well, I made you something." You made me something? And she hands me a leaf about that big, still has the base piece on it, the stem. And she dipped it in wax at the hand wax booth. And that was a gift she was giving me. I still have that leaf. It is still sitting on one of my places of honor in my bedroom. Because, wow, and I ended up doing a bit with it too. It was really kind of fabulous. I'm sorry. I'd like to your favorite child interaction moment eventually. Well, that's probably one of my favorite child reactions. She was 8. I mean, that's a child reaction. And unless you're talking younger. I don't know what that emoticon is, Bridget. Is that Aladdin? Is that a genie? Steph. I don't know what this. Oh, yeah, it really was. It was incredible. And yeah, so I ended up a couple years later, we were supposed to, or was it, maybe it was later the same year, Catherine Parr was the queen that year. And because she was the new queen, wait, was this? No, couldn't have been Catherine Parr. Who was it? And it wasn't Aragon. Because it was only, all right, so Catherine Howard, I started on Catherine Parr, and then we went to Aragon, and it might have been an early Anne Boleyn year in the second time through. And we were all supposed to, because she was being coronated. In fact, that's what it was. It was the Queen's coronation. Because she was being coronated, we were all asked to, instead of begging a boon, to give a gift, to offer some kind of something. So I found a leaf, and I came up to her, and and this is Marianne, for those who know, who was playing Anne Boleyn. And I groveled down on my knees and said, I wanted to give you something that was very precious to me. And I gave a brief version of the story of how this little girl saved me, and she gave me this leaf. And because I always hold on to it, I know I'm always safe. but you're our queen now, and I want you to be safe, and I want everyone to love and give you protection. So I would like to give you the leaf. And of course, it was not the exact same leaf, but I used that real memory to do that. I'm half in tears as I'm telling her. She's in tears as I'm telling her, and I gave her the leaf, and that was just a lovely little street bit. Made me happy. So Stupina has a lot of really good stories. So early Fred is now the gentleman who plays our king. Fred was still getting his feet under him in this. This was his first his second year, I think. And he and Anne Boleyn were not getting along this year. This was about the year when we were going to have her beheaded, but it wasn't quite there. But they're on the outs. So Stupina has a two-ended bota bag. So it's wide in the center, and then it's curved down on the sides, which, if you notice, that shape is a lot like a French hood, which Anne Boleyn wore. And Anne Boleyn's French hood was almost the same color as my bota bag. So during the day, Stupina, in her white underwear, because that's all she wears, and her mat and her face, put her bota bag up on her face. So it's now looking like a French hood. Hello, I am Queen of all of England. You do not have to bow to me, please. And I would walk through the streets of the village. Huzzah, huzzah, hello, I am the queen. On and on and on. Had a great time doing it. So this one day, I decided to take a break. And this is before the kissing bridge was there. And the pond was, well, yeah, the pond wasn't there. They had the two thrones there, the king and queen's thrones. And you would, when you go by it, you would bow as if the king and queen were there. Well, Stupina, of course, is not going to understand that. So I climbed into, I think I actually just climbed into the queen's chair. Might have been the king's, but I was sitting in a throne, just curled up, legs up, just chatting with people as they walk by, completely oblivious to what I'm doing. And then in the distance, because it's almost time for the 6 o'clock joust, I see Fred starting to walk toward me. Fred's the king. I'm making fun of his wife sometimes. Hello, I am queen. Queen, welcome. And I start doing this as I see him coming closer, loud enough so that he can hear. And he walks over to me. He's like, who are you? I am Anne Boleyn. I am the queen. Huzzah, huzzah. And because he starts, and he walks up to me. He's like, really? You're the queen? Yes, I am. I am the queen. He's like, really? And then he gets up to the edge of the throne. So if this is the edge of the throne, he stands here because my knees are bent up and I'm, sitting Indian style up on the chair. And he stands up and he leans over me and he says, do you know who I am? No. Good, carry on. And he let me keep doing it. So he walks away going, I am queen. Huzzah. It was beautiful. It was just a lovely little moment. Then last weekend, I finally run into Anne Boleyn on street. Throw the thing up. Hello, I am queen. I am queen. And she looks at me and goes, nay, I am Queen Anne Boleyn. No, I am Queen Anne Boleyn. See, everyone knows I am queen. I have this stylish French hood. Really, you're the queen. Yes, let's let the people decide. Yes, let's. Who thinks that she is Anne Boleyn? Who thinks that I am Anne Boleyn? Yay. I get the bigger cheer. Well, if you want to be queen, then that is what they say. Of course, the next time His Majesty is angry and wants to know where Anne Boleyn is, I'll send him to you. Oh, and whoa, okay, the cat just jumped up on the table with the, come here, sweetheart. Yes, I know, come here. The Sammy sighting is official. If the queen is upset, and the king is upset and he wants the queen, I will send him to you. I'm like, no, I don't want to be the queen. No, I am just Stupina. And it's like, oh, fine. And then, of course, she got to be queen after that. So it was very funny. It was just a cute little story. How we doing on that? All right, so we are in our last 15 minutes. Fall feathers is the mother Steph, the daughter Vita. Oh, no. No, and I know who Steph and Vita are. Okay, Sammy, you can't be walking on the table. You're rubbing the table where the camera is. This is not a good plan. Hello. I don't know if you guys can hear the purr from there. She purrs so loudly. Come here. I want you to purr into the microphone. Can everyone hear that purr? Because it's insanely loud to me. Annapolis earthquake. There you go. Rebel Grove. Good. Yes, that's my good Sammy. Why don't I move these so you can lay down right there? How's that? You want the comfy spot? Because you haven't joined me for these in a while. So yes, so she got to keep her queendom. So as I was saying, since we're in the last 15 minutes, if you're enjoying this and you haven't already, please give me a thumbs up. Hit the little thumb up on the bottom there to let me know that you liked what's going on. If you have the ability and the funds and you would like to throw a tip in the tip jar, in the description of this, there are some links to my Ko-fi or PayPal pages, and would love the support. As you know, we're not performing this year and I'm still trying to do a whole lot of stuff. So any support you can give me is greatly appreciated. You do not have to, but you know, like I said, it's great. The thumbs up and the commenting and all of that helps as well. And she's back on the table, but she left. Okay. And hopefully I will be able to continue to do stuff like this. I've got some fun and exciting things planned very soon, which I'll tell you about next week, probably. What do we got here? Thumbs down count 2. Oh, that's true. Yeah, I mean, you can, that if you want a thumbs down because you really hate my stories, go for it. It still helps me, so go for it. Thank you very much for the additionals. Perfect. All right, so we got a couple more stories. Let me see what I got here. Okay, so do we want my first day working at K-Dopita? Do we want the first rain day when Mustard Seed developed her language? Which one would you like to hear? Looking at there are a bunch of other stories I haven't even gotten to, but these are the ones I kind of starred. So, oh, thank you for the additional. Wow, yay, enough likes, yay. Kitty Floof. Yeah, she's a good Kitty Floof. Yay, fun and exciting things coming soon and tips. Yes, it is. Mustard seed language. Okay, so the mustard seed. So, when we were created Midsummer Night's Dream, we had the 4 fairies and then the king and the queen. So you had Moth, Cobweb, Peas Blossom, and Mustard Seed. And we started developing kind of personalities and characters for each of them. And we all got umbrellas that we decorated. And they were all, and you still see me using the umbrella when I'm Mustard Seed, which is that fun kind of pagoda type shape. And then Cobwebs was black, and it was had intricate little delicate chainmail on it. Peas Blossom had pink flowers and leaves on hers. Mine have the yellow and green leaves. I'm trying to remember what Moth had on hers, but it was something that was appropriate for Moth. So we all had these wonderful ones. And if you were ever looking for one of your fellow fairies, you would find us. And that was how we would walk from stage to stage. We would always have the umbrellas with us. And we tend to try to be together. Well, between Act 1 and Act 2, we were all together doing all of that. But between Act 2 and Act 3, the fairies didn't show up in Act 3. So with the cutting that we did, because we did it in 3 different spots throughout the village. And that meant that the other people who played fairies had other street characters, and they went off and did those. And I didn't really have anything until I changed into Columbina for pub sing at the end of the day. So I ended up walking around and doing, interactions as Mustard Seed. So this one day I wasn't scheduled to be in pub sing, I don't think. So I was basically, and it started deluging the way it does, when you've got everyone's hiding under buildings or hiding in stores, and and people are just en masse leaving, and you try to do goodbye duty, hello, goodbye duty, staying there and say hi to people or goodbye to people. Now, as you know, like Stupina's hello duty is saying goodbye to people, and goodbye duty is welcome to the parking lot, welcome, so she's always a little different perspective. And it's pouring rain, and I've got an umbrella. All the other fairies had changed out of, I don't think they'd all changed out of them. Maybe, no, I think at this particular time it was just me. They'd all gotten back into their other outfits, and their other characters don't have umbrellas. Well, if I have an umbrella, I don't have to hide under a building. So I walked out, and I just started standing there. And we had created about 6 phrases with each other, so that if we needed to communicate, because we weren't going to speak in English, it's interesting, like Cobweb's fairy language sounded very Japanese. I've been told mine sounds very French. Everyone has a different gibberish that is instinctual to them. So I went out with my umbrella because I could, as people are rushing by me. abo, 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 abo. And I kept saying it enough that it sort of stuck. So abo is my hello. Badu, that's goodbye. Badu, 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 because it's bye-bye. Badu. Hello, abo. Most of Mustard Seed's words are either in another, they're either hybrids of other languages, words, or they are or they sound similar enough to the natural language, and I use the same musicality. But because I kept using the same phrase over and over and over, I realized, oh, that must be my hello, because I'd never had a phrase. It was badu, 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 oh, badu, badu. Badu. It was like suddenly went, oh, that's my word. Ta-da. But we had things like, yum yum and waka, like different sounds like I'm hungry, I need to go to the privy. Those things that we needed to communicate to each other so that they were always the same for each of us. Now, JQ, who played Cobweb, and I used to, because she didn't need to immediately change back into her costume. The other two had other shows they had to do. So she and I would end up going and having lunch with people as fairies. And we would sit down at the table and we would start having a gibberish conversation. And then we'd start interacting with the people with us. And we would have full-fledged conversations with people. Never said a word of English, but full-fledged conversations. Because you can, like I learned in Italy, by musicality, by getting a sense of words, by being close enough to the words, you can communicate marvelously. And it's so much fun. Now, one of my favorite tales was, it was Javi Burgess, Carla Mazzone Clemente, and I think, was it Etienne Decroux? 3 very famous physical artists, mimes, clowns, performer types. None of them spoke each other's language. One was French, one was Italian, one was English. At this point, their languages weren't mixing. And they, as clowns, spent a whole night having a great conversation together without ever using words or not using the same words. It was a fabulous story. It always made me happy. It always made me really happy. I want to hear about the fun of everyone else. Wait. Okay, must be rain day. So we're on the rain day story. I want to hear about the fun of everyone else you most enjoyed. Things like the no diving signs so just the things that I like that other people do. You mean during the days? I still want to see somebody. Like I said, I want the help sign. And if somebody working as a vendor at Maryland, especially where those puddles grow, I want like one of Eric Heath's hands, one of the dragon wing hands, holding a help sign, stuck in the water. I'm looking for it. I hold you all up to this. Gibberish and rain covering, magic of wholly unappreciated but recognized fashions. Yeah. Just goofy, silly stuff. I'm trying to think, do I have any other just random goofy, silly? Rain shows, first rain day when the language was developed. Sorry. Can I give you a story of me inspiring people from a fair that was not Maryland? I worked a couple weekends in the past, more as on a semi-volunteer basis at RPFS, which is the Renaissance Pleasure Fair South. And they pay their guilds, which are groups of people that sort of pay their people by basically covering their food. But I think you pay to camp there if you're working there, and there's a whole bunch of other stuff. So I got my camping covered and my entry in as a performer, quote unquote, covered by doing about 3 hours of street each day. Worked it out with the entertainment director that this is what I normally do and I can do this for you. So I was doing 3 hours of interaction street at the front gate every morning. And there they had the Backery, which is the whorehouse where Backery, because everyone's on their backs. The St. George's area, which was their ale house. And that's where the guild members all kind of sat in there and chatted. And for them, entertaining is sort of more living history. If they're there in their space and they're in the moment of that world reality they've created, that's them doing their job. They're not doing what we do, where we're more kind of actor theater trained and based in what our approach to things, where we're out and we're doing shtick, we're doing bits. So I came out there with my mentality of I'm going to do shtick. So it was not first thing in the morning. So there was not tons of activity coming in, but there was still a lot of activity. And I'm at the front gate and I see maybe 15, 20 other people who are on the general cast. And I am the only one out there doing anything because that's not their thing. And I start hiding and laying on the bench, screaming, "Hi, I'm invisible. You can't see me," which I love doing, hugging trees and screaming, "Hi, I'm invisible. You can't see me. There's nothing here but us trees. Don't know why you're taking a picture of a tree. You look really silly taking a picture of a tree. We're just trees here." So I'm laying on the bench and saying, I'm a bench. You can't see me. I go, I'm playing in the dirt, making, just and dusting people and interacting with them, which is, again, not something they're very used to. So I suddenly realized that the people who are sitting in the little areas are now watching me. I've become their entertainment. And then every once in a while, one of them starts coming out of their spot. And one of them is like, I say, "I'm invisible. I'm just a bench. You can't see me." He goes, "Oh, I'm going to go sit on the bench." "Oh, no, see, I'm here. Hi, here." And they started playing with me. They actually started doing street because I'm sneaky. It was very fun. It sounds like an awesome sign. Yeah, I want someone to do that, Matt. And if a patron wants to do it, I'm okay with that. But it needs to be like a hand coming, and it can be a tiny hand coming out of the water with a little help sign. I have a help sign, but it's too big for what I'd be looking for. That's what sets Maryland apart from it absolutely. Well, there are other festivals that are similar to ours in terms of the training, that they have a more theater-based, actor-based type, Sterling, some of Parf. But yeah, when you look at most of the festivals, there are a few people that are paid at most of them. Some of them do pay their casts, but a lot of them are volunteers or different. Now, RPFS and RPFN were the babies. They started this thing. They were the babies. They're now the grandmama, the grandpapa of what made Renaissance festivals what they are. But again, the Queen will not come and talk to you. You cannot do what you do at our festival, where you can come up and beg a boon of the king or the queen. You see her being carried on her little lift thing at a distance, or she's got multiple guards around her. So it becomes more living history. Like, this is what it would have been like then. You would not get near the queen. So you don't, and for me, it's just, but the magic is when you get to meet the king or the queen. When you go to Disney, you want to meet Cinderella. You want to shake hands with the mouse. Granted, right now you can't do much of that either, but at least you can get closer. And because there are fewer people, they do more kind of eye contact interaction with you as much as they can. So they're doing what they can to still keep that personal connection. But it's a very different mindset at some of the other shows. And I have gone and taught at a couple other festivals, done like a little coaching on how to do street stuff over the years. It's very cool. How about a little boat anchor on the mud near the edge? Oh, that's kind of, and the chain going in. That would be very funny. I like that one. And then maybe just the tip of the prow. Is that the prow of the ship? The pointy thing at the very front. So you have the anchor, a little bit of chain going into the water, and then near the other end, just the front of the ship. That would be good. I'd like that. I think that would be amusing. A tiny little umbrella next to the help sign. Oh my goodness. Ideas for next season. Absolutely. Let's start brainstorming. Why not? We got 2 minutes left. Let's brainstorm. Making the mud. It's not many. Yeah, you're right, Bridget. Not many. So we're actually at almost at the end of time, and I still have more stories that I'll be able to tell y'all. So we will probably do more. And if you guys are enjoying this and you want more fair stories and tales and stuff, put that down in the comments. Or when this is over, if you're watching this after the fact, put it down in the comments. Let me know what you want to see. Do you want more singing shows? Do you want more of this kind of stuff? During the fair season, I will probably be a little more focused on fair, sort of, but we'll talk about that next week. Oh, thank you so much, Bridget. I'm so glad. I mean, and I know you've got tales and oh God, I mean, I'm trying to think of, oh God, I like, the final pub sing. The year that Alex was king. Were you there for that? Oh my God. Okay, I'm going to go a little overtime because this is a fabulous story. So during that year, I think we talked about it before, Bill used to do the St. Crispin's Day speech on the field. What they did is they did the death of Henry and the coronation of Edward. So Edward was walking around and they did a show where the king starts to see all of his old wives coming back and haunting him, and he dies, and they don't want to let people know. So they kind of like the part of the show is they're going to cover it up and not tell people, but they end up having the coronation for Edward. This was my first year on cast. And at the pub sing, because Henry is dead, Henry wasn't there. The pub sing was presided over by Edward. Every once in a while, Pirate Rex would show up, which looked remarkably like Henry in pirate garb. But Pirate Rex would show up and be part of the show and drink and stuff, and it was always fun. And that because Bill loved the pub sings. So final pub sing, they pulled out so many stops. So they do the I don't remember if they sang with her head tucked underneath her arm, which is a song I want to do once we get past Anne Boleyn. But there, oh my God. The face painters painted lines, like neck cut lines, over the actress who used to play Catherine Howard and the actress who used to play Anne Boleyn. Their costumes still were there, and they put them on, and they showed up at the pub sing because it was dark at that point with candles, like, "We are here for your soul," to Edward. And Edward's like, or they were there for Henry's soul, and he's like, "Well, if he's no longer here, then we want yours." He's like, "But I can't give you that. I mean, would you like a drink instead?" "Oh, all right, certainly." And then they came and sat down at the table where I used to always sit during the pub scene with the other actors. They used to do a bit at the Boar's Head where someone would, oh my God, that's a story I could tell, but that's a different story. Where one of the body singers would drag somebody else after their song into the back room. A song would happen, and at the end of the song, you would hear banging from the back room, and then the people would come out, their clothes would be disheveled, and things would be, all mussed around. So Edward gets dragged into the back room, and the song happens, and then you hear the banging and stuff, and the king comes out. Henry comes out for a second, looks around confused, goes back in, the door closes, you hear more banging, and then Edward comes out. He's like, "I really am a king now." But very last day, like I said, over when they did the coronation for Edward, as they're doing the coronation, up at the top of the jousting field, Bill did I think it was the Christmas Day speech, but basically inspired about his son, etc., and being part of England, etc. And they so on the very last night, they said, "We're going to do the fireball out here," meaning not, because they still did fireballs then. So they pulled everyone out of the tavern, out of the White Hart, over toward the jousting field. And we kind of made a line of people-ish, and they had, and they did the fireball, and they had torches out. And at some point with the fireball again, he disappeared, and Bill came out and did that speech in his white outfit, which was his ghost version of it. It was like a white, all white recreation of the costume he wore as Henry alive, and did that speech. And then the lights went out and the lights went back on again, kind of thing. And Alex was there as Edward. And this was his last day at Faire. Alex was moving to New York. He was, I think it was at New York at that point, but he was moving. So this was his last Faire. He's king. And it's the last day. And luckily someone recorded it, so I have it as a memory, but he's in tears. And that's just the fire torches, and we're all standing around. I'm standing next to the woman who played the queen that year, Joy. And he says, "You are all the authors of my fondest memories. And for that, I am truly, eternally grateful until we meet again in this life." And everyone yelled back with him, "Or the next. I wish you Godspeed and good day to all." Because Bill used to say that, "Until we meet again in this life or the next." So it was beautiful. It was a beautiful moment. And and until we meet again in this life or the next, and we meet back at Faire in that world, we're going to keep these memories going. Okay. Yeah. Fred came after your time. Eagle's Nest. How about a little boat anchor? Eagle's Nest. Oh God. This is wonderful. Oh, I'm so proud. Okay. Disney News is flooding as well. Changing hours, opening new establishments. Yes. There's a lot going in Disney. And I probably need to do a kind of Disney recap chat. Maybe we'll try to find a night to do that. I might even do a surprise one this week. I might have an evening free to do that. Only Bill, always, yeah, fun stories make me happy. Oh, wait, maybe I was there for that. I think you might have been, Bridget. I think you were still around that year. That's, I think, the year you were the, not the one getting married, you were the other one. I missed the fire, but completely understand the events that, I don't understand the events that went down, but that's its own story. Oh, hello, Faith and Lance. I miss you too. Innocuous to the fireball, but events elsewhere, other things challenging. Oh, there was stuff. Let's just go with that. So we're now over an hour. So I'm gonna close it up for today. If you've missed any of this, just go back to watch the beginning of the stream once this is done, and then it will process, and there'll be more fun and enjoyment. Again, if you have comments, things you want to see, more stories you want to know, put those in the comments. Right now, for the next few seconds, you can put them over here. But if not, if it's after this, please put them in the comments down below. If you would like to hear more singing shows, let me know what songs you want to hear. If you want to hear story shows, if you'd rather hear character interactions with Q&A like Stupina and Columbina have done, let me know the kind of stuff you would like to see moving forward for the next few weeks as we finish out the fair season. We got some time coming. And if you have enjoyed this, and it looks like everybody who's here has liked it, so thank you so much. If you haven't yet, please give me that thumbs up. It is a big help. Your comments help. If you're not subscribed already, please go ahead and hit the subscribe button. And that way you can follow along and know when I'm about to post stuff, and you don't have to hunt the Teatro pages. It'll just show up in your YouTube feed. And thank you. Thank you for sharing the stories. Thank you for giving me the opportunity to do this outlet. If you have the ability and would like to throw a little bit my way, there is in the description below, there are the links to the Ko-fi page and the PayPal page so that you can make a donation if you would like to help support. It will go to funding some of the other stuff I have coming up for you guys, and the fact that I don't have the income I would normally have for Faire this year. But you don't have to, but if you can, I'd be grateful. Thank you so much either way. And it's been such a pleasure. It's been such a pleasure chatting with you guys. And before I go, ask PP to not tip over her live chat table before the vlogcast and reset the computer so it will tell me you're going live for like a minute and a half. Oh, thank you, Kiravan. Thank you, Kate. I appreciate it. And thumb subscribe, hit the alarm bell, comment, share, do it all. Exactly. All of it. All of it. But thank you, guys. I have had an incredible time chatting with you. Thank you, Miss Lori. I love you too. And I will see you all at the next live gathering-y thingy. It'll be wonderful. I don't have a tagline.